The All City Taxi Talk Show this week, we have the hugely talented MC, songwriter and music producer from London, K9 in the back.
Yes sir, greetings.
It's great, it's an honour to have you in.
Well, it's an honour to be here, man. Really appreciate the invite.
No problem at all. And as I say, I am a big fan of yours as well. I've actually seen you a couple of times performing live. The first time was at the Four Pillars Jam, which was 3 years back. And the latest I see you was is about 2 weeks ago down at the Hiphop Chip Shop in Brixton. And every time I've seen you, you've blown me away. So it's an honour to have you in the cab.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Really is.
I appreciate being appreciated. You know.
No.
What's awesome about what you just said is the two events you just mentioned are the hip hop.
Without a doubt, Hip-Hop Chip Shop and the Four Pillars representing the realness, 100%.
Indeed.
Right, K9, the first two questions I always love to ask is basically like, where are you from and what was it like growing up as a kid?
Okay, so I was born geographically on this planet right here, not too far, just over Westminster Bridge in St Thomas's Hospital.
Yeah.
79. And my upbringing was very heavily dancehall reggae influenced, as hopefully people will hear in my music and my performance.
Without a doubt.
I am the youngest of four, so the next up would be an 11-year gap, which would be my brother, and then I got two older sisters. So in the house at home, they used to play a lot of sound tapes, clash tapes and stuff. So that was my introduction to the kind of reggae and stuff. So
really, before the hip hop thing, you was massively into the reggae sound?
Yeah, but as a fan, never in terms of producing. I didn't start producing music until late in my life.
Yeah.
And then, growing up in Battersea, at the time you could consider it rough. I don't know, there were gangs and stuff like that.
Yeah, Junction Boys and that in Clapham Junction.
Brixton. Yeah. Peckham, Ladbroke Grove.
It's like it is now with the gangs, isn't it? It's the same kind of thing, probably.
Yeah, we weren't really supposed to go to Brixton per se and stuff like that. But because I had an older brother and an older cousin, and I don't know, I just never let that inhibit me from traveling around London. So, I used to go to Brixton and all that stuff, and a couple of scrapes, but nothing serious and stuff. And I was always a good boy. I had that upbringing. So yeah, so growing up in London was good. Enjoyed it. London looks very different now. So I don't know if I'm fast forwarding, but as I've mentioned, my introduction to the dancehall and the reggae, my introduction to hip hop was, I'll give you the exact context. So I went to live, my dad worked in Saudi Arabia.
Right.
So my mother and I went to live when I was a child in Saudi Arabia for 4 years. Don't know if you remember the Gulf War, but this is 4 years prior to the Gulf War. So when the Gulf War happened is when I returned to London around about the age of 11. So when I was over there, I got into Michael Jackson. Imagine I'm all the way over in Saudi Arabia and I still managed to find this music. So I got into Michael Jackson and I was the biggest Michael Jackson fan on the planet. Did you wear the gloves and all that? I didn't wear the gloves. I did get a jerry curl.
You did get a jerry curl?
I did know all of his dance moves, and I used to win and enter and win dance competitions for Michael Jackson. So Michael Jackson was, I can say I was a fan. And then what I happened to find all the way in that side of the world is the first hip hop tapes, because it was TDK tapes at the time. Yeah. The first tapes I remember was the Fat Boys.
Fat Boys, yeah.
Sorry, the three of them. The Fat Boys, Run DMC, and LL Cool J.
Right.
So those were my introduction to hip hop.
So they were big influences on you.
Huge, because I was like, what is this? Like it was American culture on a different level, because Michael Jackson's inverted commas pop. So this was, these guys beatboxing, these three guys proud to be overweight, calling themselves Fat Boys beatboxing, and then these guys talking about their trainers and their Adidas. All this is brand new to me. And then this guy talking about he's walking with a panther with this huge gold rope chain. Yeah. As a child, that was like, wow. I love the way they represent themselves. This guy talking about he's bad, standing on a police car, posing. This stuff was amazing to me. And so, that was my introduction. And then bit by bit, kind of started to learn and get into other stuff. Little did I know I'd ever get to the point of becoming a person that makes hip-hop music or music per se.
And was you rocking the beatbox as well?
I did do some beatbox back in the day. I was, spitting all over the place and stuff.
Do you still sort of dabble nowadays, or?
No, I haven't done it in a long time, man. There's some really talented beatboxers out now, so I would not insult the craft.
It's next level now, isn't it?
They are. I've got some people beatboxing through their neck and all that kind of stuff, so yeah.
And what style of fashions was you wearing back then? Well, I mean, what years are we talking about? This is probably around, what, 85, 86?
I'm terrible with years, but I do know that if you can use Gulf War, or the initiation of the Gulf War as an anchor, that was when I came back to London, and that was when I was around 11. So I came back and then I went into secondary school. Style,
was you mixing it up with like ragga styles with the hip hop style?
In terms of my dress?
Yeah, dress style, yeah.
Well, I was subject to whatever they had over there, so I was into trainers. I always loved trainers. So I would, behave myself, and my dad would, bring me out and buy me a nice pair of the latest Nike trainers and stuff like that. The rest of it, I guess, was maybe tracksuits or whatever was available in Saudi Arabia at that time and stuff. So I wasn't really fashion conscious at that time. But definitely once I came to London and I had more of an influence, then that changed.
And when you come to London, what was you rocking then?
So,
was you doing the fur Kangol styles?
All of that stuff, I still got it right now.
Have you still got the fur Kangol?
I've still got
mine as well.
I'll tell you something funny. Right? I've got what I was rocking when I first came. I've still got them and I love them. Clark boots.
Oh, you got the Clarks? Yeah, you cannot beat the Clarks.
Boots. So I had my first Clark desert boots.
What, the Wallabies?
No, the desert ones.
Oh, the desert boots. Yeah.
So the first ones I had were purple.
Wow.
And I was in love with these desert boots, and I used to clean them every day. And I remember because there was a girl, my neighbour across the road, that I liked, and she commented on my purple Clark desert boots, and then I went and got a purple silk coat to match. I was yeah. So I remember that, yeah.
Them styles are timeless, and I still wear the Wallabies now.
Yeah, indeed, it's so comfortable.
They're absolutely timeless.
Yeah, no, big up Clarks, man, sponsorship. Big up Clarks, UK brand.
Big up Clarks, yeah, exactly. And for comfort, they're unbeatable for comfort as well.
And durability.
And durability,
I got it from my dad. I inherited it from my dad. Jamaicans love Clarks because of the durability. So my dad's generation, it wasn't a fashion thing. It was like, these are good quality shoes, it's gonna last you. So.
And K9, can you remember like the first track you ever bought, the first record?
It would have been the Fat Boys.
I was Fat Boys.
Yeah, it was a Fat Boys. In terms of hip hop, it was Fat Boys. I couldn't tell you the name. It was an album, TDK tape, and I couldn't tell you the name of the album. But yeah, they really. I was Run DMC, Cool J, and Fat Boys.
So all three of those were massive influences.
That was the start.
Yeah. And when did you start trying to basically MC?
Right, so a good friend of mine, I'm gonna give you his MC name. His name is Mike Dark.
Yeah.
I met him when I went to work in Home Base in Battersea. So prior to this is around the time of I remember, what's the biggest Mobb Deep song? Survival of the Fittest. So I think it would have been maybe 1 or 2 years after this, because all I did at that time, was memorize my favorite verses. So started working with this guy. He was really cool, and he was like, yeah, I MC, I do music. So I said, cool. So he's like, do you rap? I said, nah, I don't rap. I'm not into that stuff. I just love it as a fan. So he said, you should try and rap. I said, nah, not really for me and stuff. So he just continued and he wouldn't stop. And he said, well, can you at least rap one of your favorite verses? So I rap, there's a war going on outside, no man is safe from. And he was like, you know what, you can rap, you should write. So he brought me to the studio with him. He was in a group with his 3 cousins. They were called, there was a singing R&B group, and he was like a feature artist anyway. It was the most boring time I ever had in my life. We went to some industrial estate. It was cold. We was there for hours recording one track. I was just bored out of my skull. I was like, this is not the life for me. Anyway, I don't know what happened. He kind of convinced me to start writing, so I started kind of writing and stuff, and he taught me how to produce. This is Atari at the time. Atari Cubase, really basic. And I remember, I think Gravediggers was out. Because what I did, my first beat, the drum pattern replicated a Gravediggers one. Because I was really a big RZA fan at the time. And so, it just kind of progressed. And he was also in another group. They had a performance in Lambeth College in Clapham Common site one of the guys dropped out and he asked me to jump in. And I had confidence issues because I wasn't really trying to be a rapper. He's like, come on, just go. And this is the army fatigues time. So I said, all right, let's go. What's the worst that can happen? So put on my army fatigues, went down there, come and did my verse and killed it. And I think that's when my appetite really started to open. Like, actually, this feels really good. This is an expression. This feels really good. I appear to be good at it. People appear to like me. And bit by bit, I kind of continued and paid my dues.
And so, before that, was you also chatting, like toasting, like on the reggae style as well?
I wasn't, but I was on the Jungle. So I'm not sure now. My timeline's getting messed up if Jungle was after that. But when Jungle came in, I used to go around to different youth clubs in London
and do a bit of toasting them.
Do MCing.
Yeah.
And DJing as well, because I used to DJ. So I used to have sound lab turntables. Belt drive, not direct drive. I couldn't afford the 1210s, and I still haven't got a pair, but one day I will.
Yeah,
and
expensive.
I used to buy vinyl. I used to go and buy vinyl, collect vinyl, hip hop, jungle, skibbity, MCD, MC Det.
And what music was you playing back then? Like a mixture, was it, or was it mainly
mixture? Because I could identify. I could feel. So, like a lot of us, in terms of the UK hip hop, if you want to use that. We've had what you might call an identity crisis. So when things like Jungle came along, we could identify something in there that belonged to us. So even though it heavily influenced via reggae samples, it still had a UK feel to it. And that's why I think we gravitated towards it. So yeah, I used to play, I was into jungle, obviously hip hop. So yeah, so I played all of that stuff there. I actually did buy 7-inch vinyls as well from Dub Vendor. You know,
I used to go Dub Vendor. Yeah, because it's up the road from where you was living.
They used to have one in Clapham Junction,
That's
and
right,
then
yeah.
obviously one in Ladbroke Grove. Then they had Red Records in Brixton.
Yeah.
That's when we used to have red record shops. Beggars and Banquets in Putney.
Beggars Banquet, yeah.
They had one in Fulham that I used to go to. They had one on Chelsea, Black Market I think it was called.
Yeah.
Chelsea, it was downstairs in a clothes shop. And obviously they had, Black Market was at West End. A few of them we used to go to and used to buy records, save up the money and buy the records. And that was such a pride. You know, if you look at music now, you know, you got access to every song by a click on your phone. So the process of saving money and going and buying something that's been on a vinyl, you value the music more. You know,
it was like a day out, wasn't it? Like you'd wake up and do what you got to do. Then you think, right, I'm gonna try and get my vinyl today. You'd hit a few record shops, you'd listen to it, you'd feel it, you'd smell it.
Yeah.
There's a kind of smell to that vinyl as well.
Tangible, and when you put it on and you play it and you're like, yes. You turn it up. And me, I love to read the credits, who produced it, what stuff.
Yeah, so and the artwork as well.
Oh,
the artwork is major importance on the vinyl.
Absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, you can't.
I miss those days.
you can't beat the vinyl, but you know, unfortunately things have moved on, so it's all a bit different now. But do you still release vinyl as well?
Me, I've never, ever, and I will do one day, I've never released the vinyl. I will do. I think if I can figure out how much it costs, my next album, which will be coming out at the end of this year, I'll look to try and get a vinyl of that for the purists, a small run. Yeah, because at some point I've got to look and say, right, I've done a vinyl, even though it's pretty much obsolete.
Maybe do like a couple of hundred, like limited copies or whatever. Yeah,
definitely.
That'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about some of the music you've released so far?
Okay, yeah. So I've got myself as a producer, as a solo artist, and then as within groups. Yeah.
Right.
So as a solo artist, working backwards, I am working on my second album. Okay, because I've released mixtapes, I've released EPs and stuff. My first album came out in 2014. It was called The Re-Education of King 9. The concept of that was basically, I still am. We are all on a journey. So throughout my journey, the first thing for me was, okay, I need to how can I say, deconstruct the miseducation that I've been had over the years from society and from the formal education that London gives and stuff like that. And then who am I? How do I exist in this body and what's my place in this world? So that's kind of the cusp of me getting to realize my origin, in terms of Africa and stuff like that. So the Re-Education of King 9 is that project. Prior to that, it was an EP called The Emancipation of King 9. So this was where I was kind of acknowledging that, well, I want to be free from some of the stuff that they say that I'm supposed to be, or, you know, some of the bondage they put upon us and all that stuff there. So that was that. And then obviously now this one coming up in 2018, or should I say 2018, is going to be called Black and Forth.
Black and Forth.
Right.
That's B-L-A-K.
B-L-A-K. Right. So the whole idea of the sea, of the lack of the sea, is in ancient African languages, C wasn't part of the dictionary, sorry, of the alphabet. So C linguistically comes in, I think, around Latin times. So when people such as my mentor, Black Twang, takes out the C, it's paying homage to say, well, actually, no, this is from an African linguistic perspective. So Black and Forth, the concept of that is, okay, cool. It's been 4 years since my last project. I've done a lot of growing, a lot of experiences. Now I'm, you know, a different level of grown man. And this is to say that even though I'm black, and there are many a plight that black people go through, physically and psychologically. Today we still have enslavement in Libya and so forth. We can still go forth. It's about mentality, it's about empowering yourself, it's about not using your colour as an excuse to not go forth. So Black and Forth is the new one to look out for in December. So that's me as a solo artist. Me.
And also K9, where can we get hold of your music?
Right, so here's the difficulty.
Because back in the day it was the record shop, but like it's all changed now.
Right. So the difficulty is the search it on iTunes is difficult. It's very hard. So I don't know if there's a way I can send you a link and you can put the link in a hyperlink to the people to click it on iTunes. Is that possible?
That could be possible, and also what I'll do, I'll type out the link at the end of this on the credits. I'll type out a link where if they punch it in, you know, they can get hold of it. Right.
Well, yeah, basically, if you can try it, it's the Education of King 9. That's the title of the album. So if you type that in, that should come up. And also, I'm going to tell you about some of the groups that I've been in, or the group that I've been in also, that you can get hold of their music as well. Yeah, and then my artist name is K and 9 the number, but if you put that in iTunes, a lot of different things will come up. So if we just get to the groups, and I'll move swiftly through this. So I'm part of a group called Fringlish Connection.
Fringlish?
Yeah, so to explain the name, FR English, one word, squished together. So what it is that's with two guys. So it's two guys and myself. They are both just like me, of Caribbean origin, from a place called Guadeloupe, which is almost identical to Jamaica, except they were colonized by the French, whereas Jamaica were colonized by obviously the Spanish first and then the British. So their colonized language is French, mine is English. And so we connected because they were solo, or are solo artists in their own right. One is by the name of S-Rise, okay? He's currently working on music and putting stuff out. And Dundee as well. So he's also doing music as well. And so we linked up, and through, you know, mutual appreciation for the music, we did projects together. Now the K9 you will get on this is a different K9 to the solo K9.
Right.
This is a K9 where I explore other types of music and genres and expressions that I wouldn't as a solo. Right.
So what kind of styles are you kind of covering?
All right, so there's pretty much no holds barred with Fringlish Connection. So, for example, there's 2 albums and 1 mixtape of Fringlish Connection that's come out. With K9, there's 4 mixtapes, 1 EP, and 1 album so far. Anyway, so with Fringlish Connection, we've done soca music, we've done jazz music, we've done obviously our core is hip hop and reggae. That's our core, because I produce all the stuff, so that would be the core.
Yeah.
And what else have we done that's kind of out there? We've done what they call zouk, which is kind of like almost like a Caribbean calypso type of thing. Well, calypso is Caribbean, isn't it? Like a French Caribbean calypso, quite slow, sensual kind of dancing. So we've done stuff like that. And it's really good because it gives me a chance, or a channel I should say, to express different aspects of my music, because you know, as I produce, I kind of start producing different artists. I'm able to do that because the way I see hip hop personally is I like, when I'm being K9 a solo artist, to keep the integrity, which is the base, you know, couched in hip hop and reggae roots. That's the baby that I want to make and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's a bit of the history. I have produced songs for Black Twang.
I was going to say you done a combo with Black Twang, didn't you?
Yeah, I've done there's a couple of tracks done with Black Twang. The first one would be GCSE.
Yeah.
So the history of that beat actually is I played it to Estelle first, and Estelle liked it and she loved it, but she was taking a while, and I really loved the beat, and I was like, okay, cool. Black Twang's in my corner, play it to him, and he loved it, and he was ready to act on it straight away. So I contacted Estelle, and she was like, yeah, go ahead and stuff, and so that was how that happened. And then yeah, we just worked, you know, I've thrown him a couple beats.
What's the tune you done when you're like in the studio and that?
So that's on my EP. That's called, you ready? I know you are, but what am I?
I'm glad you remember that, because I was going to write that down.
Yeah.
That blew me away as well. That
Thank
tune.
you. That's Frank Sinatra that sampled there.
That's funny. His first interview. Please go to YouTube and type that in. K9 and Black Twang. Could you say?
What you can do with YouTube, and you'll find my channel. You get all the stuff. It's K9 the number London.
K9 London.
If you type K9 London in YouTube, my channel comes up, and you'll see like a lot of different stuff on there.
That'd be wicked. And
with Black Twang, he's similar to me. So he's of Nigerian descent, I'm of Jamaican descent, but growing up in London, he was just as much into the reggae as me, so we connected on that level.
Well, Black Twang, he's from Deptford as well, Southeast London.
That's right, yeah. So we done a song on a classic Dennis Brown instrumental, or Aswad I should say, called Inner England.
Right.
So what it was is, I had found a rhythm because he was doing a project with Trojan. Some record company had bought Trojan's back catalogue, and so we had like a plethora of CDs. So he gave me a couple of CDs. He knows I'm into that stuff, and I was playing it, and then this rhythm popped up, and then I started playing with it, and I came up with a hook. England, and I started and I wrote to it, and I played it to him. He's like, yeah, that's dope. I'm gonna jump on it. So he jumped on it, and then we done that. So that's also another track out there that we done. That was, we shot in where did we shoot that? We shot that in, I think, Elaborate Grove. Just got that. Oh, so this is when that vendor was still in Elaborate Grove. Right. That's when we shot that. Luke Biggins shot that for us actually. So that's going back a bit. So yeah, so there's been lots of different things. I've currently produced an album for an artist called Sasha T.
Sasha T.
And she's predominantly an R&B artist, but
she's a singer.
She's a singer. Dope. So I produced her whole album, which is called New Era. So
is that come out yet?
Yeah, that's out. It's out. So you'll hear like some kind of R&B stuff on there from me. You'll hear some Lovers Rock production on there from me and stuff. So yeah. So I kind of, you know, I like to get around, spread my wings, don't limit myself. But I think it's important, branding-wise, that when I release a K9 album, it's got that core. You know, they're so easy about, oh, selling out, your sound ain't true to who you are, so that kind of energy has to be very prevalent in my music, my solo music.
Have you got plans to work with as well, like in the future?
At the moment, who springs to mind? I know that Breeze should be doing a song on my project. I haven't got anybody planned to work with. Who I'd like to work with, I'd love to work with Children of Zeus. I think they're amazing.
Children of Zeus, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they've got a newish album out as well, haven't they?
Yeah, very new.
Yeah.
I think they're just amazing, man. Really cool guys as well, down to earth guys, extremely talented. And the thing about Children of Zeus, not even that, I would say this about, and I'm not gonna get geographical now, but British MCs is we take pride in our lyrics. When you listen to the content of Children of Zeus, amazing. Black Twang's got amazing stuff coming out. What I've got to mention is important as well. So Black Twang for me is like a big brother mentor in hip hop. I also have a big brother mentor in reggae.
Right.
His name is New Flower. NUFLOWAH.
New Flower.
Yeah. Right. And I met him fairly recently. When I say fairly recently, it would have been in the last 3-4 years and stuff. He grew up with my older brother. And one day I was in Brixton in a venue and I saw him perform. There's quite a few, and I was like, he's bad. So my brother said, "Don't you know him from Junction?" I said, "No." So when he came off, we started talking. He gets to know, he knows all my family, all my older sisters. I said, "Oh wow!" So we linked up. You know, he came to the studio. You know, done a couple of stuff. So he's on my album. He's on the track. New Flower is featured on a track called Fire on the 2014 Re-Education So I really had that blessing, you know, in terms of having the kind of seeing kind of the olders per se, you know, seeing how they did it, watching how they did it, the guidelines and stuff like that, and almost having the kind of, what you call it, when you get the seal of approval, you know, through Black Twang I met obviously greats such as Rodney P, Roots Maneuver, Ty, MCD, Skinny Man, all these people, and all these people have told me they like my music and stuff like that, and I felt it's genuine. So having the people that you respect what you're doing is really important. So, you know,
massively, and you're a really nice guy as well, which also goes a long way as well. You know, you're not kind of no big ego or nothing like that. You're down to what kind of message do you kind of put out in your music? Have you got a kind of message or?
Message-wise, reality. I'll say reality because I don't want to use the word conscious, because conscious almost puts you in a box. I try to be as real as possible, so I'm no gangster, I'm no bad boy, but just like most other men, you know, you have a limit and stuff, so you know, you might at some point when your ego trip and say if you cross that line that can happen, but more than often it's I like conceptual stuff. So, you know, on my EP I done a track called Django, which was influenced by the Jamie Foxx movie, the Tarantino movie, which is a different twist on black people in that time. You know, this black person in these times of slavery was so cocky and so like I'm gonna show you that I'm not a subhuman type of thing. So I was really influenced by that. So I sampled that music and done a video, which will be on my YouTube channel. So yeah, conceptual tracks, you know, if we talk about the new album, but let's go to the first album. You know, I've got songs on there. I've got a song called Escape from Babylon, which I'm gonna actually do a little version for you guys later, which is basically Babylon. If you're talking in biblical terms, it's a place where they worshipped money and vanity, but they did that over and above humanity. And that's really, for me, you know, the basis of Babylon.
You know, I thought you meant Babylon as in the police, escape from the Babylon.
Well, that's what the thing is there's a connection. There's a connection because, as we understand it, police are policy enforcers. So what they're really doing is they're protecting corporations as opposed to the people. And corporations are about making profit. Yeah. And that's why I think, you know, that you talk about the kind of ancient roots music refer to the police and the system as Babylon, because all they're dealing with is money over humanity. So Escape from Babylon, which I also have a video for so it talks about that. It says, look, you know, kind of be conscious, understand where you are. Maybe you can't, maybe you're not moving geographically, but on a psychological level, elevate from where you are and stuff. And then I talk about, you know, when my parents came here for a better life and stuff like that, you know, on the Windrush and all that stuff. So I make reference to that. I got a song called Fatherhood, featuring Black Twang. So speaking about, you know, becoming a father and, you know, sometimes going through problems with the mother and making sure that irrespective of that, you still make sure you take care of your responsibility and be there for your child. So I addressed that. I got a song, let me see now, called Fire, where I'm just literally just blazing the fire and just letting the government have it and stuff like that. So on a new project, which I'm really excited about, which I do want to tell you guys about, is we got a song on there called Give It Up, right? So Give It Up is featuring another artist I work closely with, which is incredible, by the name of Kimber. Kimber is from New Jersey, and he is part of a group called Union Black. Black, once again, with no C. Union Black is with a producer from Birmingham called Sir William. Amazing producer. So yeah, that would be, you know, kind of the kind of gangster format, you know, Primo and Guru. So yeah, so he's got a couple of projects out with him. He's featuring on a song called Give It Up, which is basically saying, look, stop trying to be something you're not. In one sentence, stop trying to be something you're not. I take a couple of jabs at the mumble rappers because, you know, I don't understand. I don't really understand that. That's not really for me per se. I don't want to rubbish it. it's not for me. So yeah, we got that. Got a song called Divine Dialogue, which I'm very excited about, which is a conversation between me and a higher, I'm going to call it a higher force, because I know that people may want to call that force God, Allah, you know, Yahweh, whatever they may want to call that force. So it's a conversation, it's a dialogue between me and that force. And I go through really kind of being vulnerable, explaining, look, I need you to help to protect me from this. I need you to show me this way. I'm in conflict with myself because of this. You know, I've got a lyric that says, poverty, a cause for concern. When portions are ration, when I walk past a homeless man, do I lack compassion? So I'm introspecting and looking at my life when I walk past homeless people and I do have money in my pocket and I don't give it to them, and I'm like, I'm not taking care of my fellow human. So all of that happens within that track, which I'm really excited about. I've got a song called Magnificent, which describes a relationship with my ideal woman. Yeah. So, you know, I talk about how magnificent she is, how I view her, what she does for me, you know, and how we kind of complement one another and stuff. What else have I got on that project? I've got a track called Home. Now, Home is in reference to me going physically back to live in Africa. And that's a song in which I want Breeze hopefully is gonna sample on, and an artist by the name of Killer Ace, who is a Gambian artist, quite a big artist in Gambia, hopefully he's gonna feature on. And another artist by the name of Tashai Makeda, which is I would call her a soul singer that sings on reggae, and she's amazing. That's the name you got to check out, Tashai Makeda. So
she's got some tunes, like any like thing on YouTube and places like that.
She's got plenty. She hosts the night at Troy Bar every Thursday, which is a reggae night.
Where's Troy Bar? Troy
Bar is Hoxton Square. She hosts the night, and amazing talent, man. I'm surrounded by some talented people. So yeah. So I can't remember the original question, but yeah, I'm really excited about the new project. Really excited to get out. You know, I had a fallout with music, a love-hate relationship with music, and hence I pretty much put the mic down after my album. I was like, okay, all I ever wanted to do was to do one album, solo album I was happy with, because I'm my worst critic. And when I'd done that, because I was happy with my album, I said, all right, I've done it now. I would love to go on tour and do all that stuff there. I did a few shows, but I know that my strength isn't in the networking and getting out there and stuff like that. So what I just did is I continued to work and study and learn instruments. So, you know, I learned the keys and the bass and a bit of the drums and stuff to help my production. So yeah, what I must mention at this point now as we're talking is that I recently joined through my management. So my management is Red Entertainment, also manages S Rise. Recently joined a charity called I Am Not For Sale, which is like and I won't say an answer, but it's a offer to something in terms of the atrocities happening in Libya now, and that have been happening since 2011. We've only been recently, it's only come to mainstream recently. So when we went to Gambia for the first time at the end of last year, that would be 2017, we were booked to do a reggae festival out there. We saw firsthand, I mean, prior to that we heard about it, but we saw firsthand the atrocities. We spoke to people that had actually, they call it going the back way, because it's illegal migrating, trying to get over to Europe, but going through Libya. So we spoke to those people, and we had a connection and a real, maybe not empathy, but just really like, wow, something has to be done. What can we do? What can we do? So we said, all right, none of us are rich. We can't pump money into this, but what we can give is we can maybe give our musical talents or offerings. So if we can put shows on, money's raised, we can pump towards it, we can sponsor programs, and that's what we've been doing. So when that happened, that gave me back my appetite for music, and months, nearly a year later now, I'm working on my new album because it's come back with a vengeance. So.
K9, I was going to say to you, actually, I was having a little drive about, I had a little think about this question. I was thinking, out of all like the MCs and the artists throughout the years, if you was to form like one big kind of, you could say, super group of talent, who would you put in that group? Like UK?
That's an amazing question.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, like UK, London, obviously, New York, anywhere throughout the world. Doesn't matter. Could be French, whatever.
Oh wow, okay. Oh, that's a bit vast. I think maybe we'll do UK, and then maybe we'll do.
We do UK. Yeah, UK.
Yeah. All right. So. Yeah. Obviously, I definitely would like to be in it myself, so you know, I'm gonna have to put.
No, you've got to be in it because you'll be heading it up.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do that because I'd have my mentors in it, so I couldn't head it up. But I definitely would love to have a seat on the
Well, they could guide you, but you can, like, you know, put your twist on it.
I definitely put Black Twang in there. I would put Roots Maneuver. I really like Roots Maneuver. For me, I'd definitely like to have more. I would like to have a more of a say in the production he chooses. So if I could, you know, executive produce this, I can imagine, because I've heard, for me, when Roots is in the pocket on certain rhythms, and I'm like, all right, yeah, that would work. So Roots Maneuver, Black Twang. Oh, there's so many. I would say Malik MD7. So you know, that's representing Birmingham. Cypher's dope as well. Cypher's dope. There's so many. I know I'm gonna miss people up. Skinny Man. He used to be a guy. I can't remember where he's from. I think his name was Yogi or something like that. Do you ever remember a guy? He was somewhere up north or Midlands. Had like he had a very Jamaican style to him as well. MCD. That content from MCD, man. That's got to be in there. Shawnee T has to be in there. What do you mean? Shawnee T has to be in there. Any contemporary ones? I really like Low Key. I think Low Key's amazing. Really, when first time I saw him, this is Carnaby Street, Deal Real. First time I saw Low Key, I was like, wow. Joker Star, dope. Michael Parkinson, dope. Jess, dope. There's a lot of dope MCs, man. I'll go on. Right, producers now. Producers.
Yeah, let's go on producers.
Comanche Sly.
K Sly.
K Sly. Michael Parkinson. Harry Love. Beat Butcher. Sir William. Myself. Yeah. There's more, but yeah. So yeah, UK, that'll be it. But I know we'd be missing out people, but we could feature them.
What about stateside?
Oh, supergroup stateside. That would consist of Thought, Elzai, Planet Asia, Blue, Sean P. Oh my gosh, Sean Price. Sean Price. Woo Man would have to be in there. I think Kendrick would be nice to kind of guest now and again as a guest star. The old schoolers, so Craig G, yeah, Coogee Rap, Rakim. Not Ra. I'm a Kane. I'm a Kane man over Rakim.
Big Daddy Kane.
Personally, I'm Kane. Yeah, I'm Kane. Biggie. Woo-hoo! Biggie over Pac for me, man. Biggie over Pac. Nas over Jigga. But you know, they're different styles and stuff. So yeah, Biggie, Nas, Redman. One of my top. Redman. It depends, you know what, it depends though. It depends on if we're trying to have like an entertaining, comical, or we're trying to have like thought-provoking, like levels of knowledge, you know, because I don't know if they can coexist on one project. So it would depend on the type of project we're trying to produce.
You'd have to producers, like mix it up a bit.
Yeah, producers. Okay, here we go. Notch Raw. Marco Polo. Fourth Disciple. DJ Scratch. Ninth Wonder. Early DJ Premier, not contemporary, early DJ Premier. Early Pete Rock. Marley Marl. Early Marley Marl. I like the Beat Nuts. I love Beat Nuts.
Yeah.
Eric Sermon, because what they do is they take hip hop and they kind of add that party vibe to it without selling out. Jake One, another dope one. There's names, man. There's names. But yeah, those would be the kind of producers and stuff. Not sure could easily do the whole project. Easily. Not sure. Nonsense.
That was quite a tough question.
Very hard question.
Really tough. How did you get your name K9?
It's really corny, man. It's really corny. But you know, as we're being vulnerable, we're being honest. You know, we're in London. We're in a black taxi. So let's just be honest. So it used to be Killer 9.
Killer 9, yeah.
And back in the day, once upon a time, when I was just getting into it, remember Mike Dart was the kind of guy that brought me into it. Is we went into, I can't remember whose house it was in Badgett Court, which is a little kind of small, I wouldn't say estate, but kind of housing, almost equivalent to a housing project in Battersea Clapham Junction. Back in the day. And they was all ciphering and it turned into a battle. Anyway, it turns out that in the battle, you know, you just start dissing everybody, and I ended up being the victor, and there was 9 other people there. So that would make me killer 9.
Killer 9.
I killed 9 people. So drop the killer, and then
have the K, and then put the 9 in.
It was K, and then the 9, and then at a point was King 9, and I thought that might be a little. People may not understand that. They might see it as narcissistic, so I kind of dropped the King.
Yeah, that's how I remember you with King 9.
Yeah.
King 9 General, I think, but...
Yeah, King 9 the General and stuff like that. But then again, that's when I was heavy into the fitness as well, so I was kind of pushing hard, and they used to call me the General when I used to run my fitness sessions. Yeah. So that was kind of attached to that. And so now kind of moving forward, you know, numerically, the number 9 is perfect for me, for my kind of direction I want to go and where I am as well. So in terms of like kind of enlightenment, you know, quite spiritually endued and stuff like that, endowed I should say. So that's the meaning of 9, and K is for knowledge of self. Yeah. Or my name, which is Keba. Keba, yeah. So knowledge of self, 9 really. So as a person I've taken out a lot of time to really re-educate myself on who I am, purpose in this life, so I can now navigate according to my purpose and stuff. So knowledge of self is very, very important. So knowledge of self 9 would be K9. And
I've got another tough. This is another tough question. Out of all the music throughout, you know, could be 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. Has there been like a selection of tracks? Doesn't matter what it is. It can be calypso, reggae, hip hop, jazz, rock and roll. Has there been a selection of tracks which have like literally blown you away? You've been like, wow, that's been on like repeat.
It would have to be, for me, late 90s hip hop, late 90s, early 2000s. So if we're talking decades, it would have to be late 90s. You know, so when you had the Redman's second album, that was integral. Nas' second album was integral for me. Quite a few of the artists I kind of missed out on their first albums. Like the Nas, I had to go back. The Redman first album I had to go back because I had an Indian friend in secondary school. He used to put me onto the hip hop. So he used to bring me TDK tapes. That's the latest, and listen to it. I used to go in and just, that's it. I was in another world listening to this stuff. So obviously Wu-Tangs, the Onyxes, you know, that kind of, that aggressive era of hip hop, you know, and just the way that they was, you know, putting the words together and flowing and being creative, and the energy, I think the energy they was able to expand really resonated with me, the young me at the time. Like, yeah, this represents me. I'm not American, but it represents me. We share some kind of same vibe or frequency. So that would have been the most impactful. What I do love and appreciate is the stuff before. So I'm a huge funk, blaxploitation fan, you know.
Are you massively into the funk and rare groove?
Love it, you know. That's what I play, you know, with my band. That's what I love playing the most, you know. So the live horns and all of that stuff there, because it's the music, even without the words, the music carries so much history and energy in it.
Throughout your music career so far, can you tell me about some of like the biggest highlights?
Ooh, the biggest highlights of music career. I mean, I had an amazing time touring with Twang. Amazing, man. You know, it wasn't just the UK. You know, he brought me to. He brought me to Africa as well. So you know, he brought me to Nigeria and Ghana. That was amazing, life-changing experience. Morocco in Africa we've done as well. We went to Jamaica to record. That was an awesome experience. In Jamaica, where we was recording was on a mountain. Now picture this, and this I will have to do one day. On the mountain, where the vocal booth is glass. Now, where your face is an MC, you're looking out to the sea. Wow. Amazing. Fresh juice, fresh everything. You know, if you're into those trees that take your imagination somewhere else, you can get that fresh right there. They pick it out the bush. Everything. Amazing. And we met Spragga Benz there as well. Alba Rosie was working with at that time as well. So I've had some good experiences. So I think touring with Twang really opened me up.
That was a big highlight.
Really opened me up and really saw the things that weren't so great. That, you know, the kind of, when you're playing in the kind of people's bedroom and it's just like, it's so gringy, to where you've got a stadium of 10,000 people. So that was awesome, and that kind of let me see, you know, Twang let me see. Twang was a person that I heard first, that I can recognize that he used the British accent and it worked in a melodic way, and it was red letters I heard. So it's ironic that I heard him and I met with him and we became friends, and he mentored me and took me on the road. So so yeah, I think touring with him was really, you know, which happened over a number of years, and every now and again, if he's in London, he'll say, yeah, come down or wherever, or sometimes even out of London, I'll come down and I'll just for old time's sake jump on, and you know, we'll still have a laugh. But yeah, there's that. Yeah, I think finally completing my album, my first album, because it was a long road. Because what happened is, when I was working on my album, I was working with Fringlish. So what I used to do was, a lot of songs, Fringlish, I would play them, oh yeah, this is for my album. They say, oh, we love it, we love it, we love it. And I'd end up giving it to them, or to us, I should say, for a project. So it took me a while to finish it. You know, like what I had to end up doing is make some songs and say, right, I can't play it to the guys if I want this on a project, because they're gonna, I know, because I want, you know. So so yeah, so there's a few highlights, but touring, I think touring is amazing. When you get to bring your music out to the people, do it in real time and see the real time reactions and the love that people have for the music.
And how does that make you feel when you see the crowd, like when it's all going off and everyone's loving filming you and everyone's like really appreciating the music you've made? How does that make you feel? Amazing,
amazing. It's euphoric. It's endorphin release, really, isn't it? I can understand why some people become egotistical, because you know the way that people will treat you because you're performing, they'll treat you like you're a celebrity, like you're special. Oh, can I get your autograph? Can I get a picture of you? When in reality, it's just something you do. You know, whatever they do is valid as well. But it's because you're entertaining and they see it as something they can't do, they put it on a pedestal.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to really check yourself, you know, with that ego and stuff, because some of the reactions, you could be like, wow, you start feeling yourself too much, you know.
It can go.
But no, it feels good. It feels great. It's amazing, especially when you feel you've done a good job. When you feel that you're projecting right, the clarity is there, the cadence is there, you delivered it how you want, the message came across, the people were entertained, the promoter was happy, you feel good.
Is there any kind of like positive message that you can give to, like, you know, the younger generation? You know, I know there's a lot of problems in this world, especially in some, you know, in parts of the world. Is there kind of like a message that you can give to the youth?
There's a lot of messages I'd like to give to them. First, I would say is to try to. I know it's difficult, because the world in which we live now, the society now moves like. So, try to take time, maybe 2, 3, 4 minutes in the morning to stop, breathe. Just breathe, gather your thoughts, and calm yourself before you go out and start your day.
Yeah.
You know, and you can increase that time, and it really makes a positive difference to your day.
Because I was going to say, you meditate as well, don't you?
I do.
Which is a very, very positive thing.
Yeah. Helps to kind of, you know, wash your brain in a way, wash your brain and sanitize your spirit, and
it's very, very important.
Yeah, so, you know, just take the time to stop and take the time to really, really figure out who it is you are and who do you want to be and how do you become that person. So that will reflect in your music or whatever art form you choose to express yourself, or if it's academically. Because we are in a world where they want to give you options. They want to determine who you are through socialization. You don't have to let them determine who you are. So really, really important to find out who you are as a person. And that's not something that happens in a week or a month or a year. That happens over time. It's an ongoing search to find out who you are. And whatever your expression is, whether it's academic or it's artistic, if you're putting stuff out there, people should be able to see your growth. Your closest friends and family should be able to see your growth and say, all right, that person has evolved and they have grown. So this whole thing of you've changed, you've sold out, you're supposed to change. You are supposed to grow.
Yeah.
You know, obviously there's certain core elements of you where you want to remain the same. You don't want to completely say, all right, I come from the hood and I don't mess with the hood no more. But you want to grow, you want to become better and stuff like that, and don't feel embarrassed for doing that. So you've got a lot, young generation, you have a lot of weapons being used against you now. When I say you, as in... Because,
Keba, there's a lot of hate going on in society at the moment. And, you know, if you look at someone the wrong way, you know, you're going to get, like, wet up, you're going to get, like a knife pulled out on you, or even worse, you're going to get stabbed or shot. Is there any kind of you know, I mean, how can you kind of overcome that?
Well, as a youth worker, so my profession is a youth worker, I will say that be careful, because the difference between my day and your day is social media and the speed in which news travels and the way that they can impact you through news, you know, whether it's on a subconscious level or conscious level. And what that means is that they can put those scare tactics to make you think that London is becoming more and more dangerous. I'm not saying it is not, maybe that's the case, but what we do have now is you have more reportings of the things that's happening. Where they used to happen back in my day. But if you was in the loop, you heard about it.
Do you know what I say to my passengers as well about this kind of, if we ever touch on the subject, I always give them an example of, do you remember when the Olympics was on? If you ever watched the news when the Olympics was on, most of that news was really positive and upbeat. And did you notice in London and probably everywhere else, how uplifting everybody was? Everyone was smiling, everyone was in a good mood. But as soon as the Olympics finished, the negative news come back on and everybody was on a downer. It's like, you know, oh no, life's gonna end, and like, you know, a lot of bad stuff was happening. And everybody was brought back down again. Did you?
Yeah, that's a really important point there, is the media can really get you wrapped up in that negative whirlwind, and what happens is you carry a certain energy or aura of fear, of apprehensive, which may make you want to go and pick up a weapon to say it ain't safe. And then what happens is, you know, there's a thing called energy. So when you're walking past another group or another young person, they may have that same idea. You may look at each other, and that may result in somebody not being here anymore. It could be that simple. So you've got to try to rise above it. Everything, the biggest battle is in here. No matter what's got, the biggest battle is in here that will ever happen. So you've got to figure this out. And the starting point is being able to still your mind. So take at least 3 minutes when you rise up in the AM, and just still your mind. Breathe, and then say, right, I'm going to have a positive day, and I'm gonna go out and I'm not gonna allow anything to bring down my energy. And that's a start. And then once again, coupled with the identity, that's really gonna help you as a young person or anybody to know how to navigate, you know. I mean, I'm a grown man, but I feel I can walk anywhere and I feel confident. Not because I'm from a certain area or because I got people that can back me up, because I don't walk with a certain energy. I know who I am. And so therefore it's about finding out who you are really. So that's what I would say to young people. Not to say that the examples that they've given you or society has given you, that you're not going to fit into one of those molds, but you are an individual. So as an individual, take time out to find out what that is that's you, and be you. Just be you. Give it up. Give up trying to be someone else. Be you. Find out who that person is and be it.
And we need a lot more love in our hearts than hate.
Yeah, man. Listen, the news is telling you a story that they want to tell you from a certain perspective.
Do you know what? I don't watch the news.
And
I don't listen to the news, and I don't read newspapers. Because, why is that? Because it makes you depressed. It gets you down. I mean, you read so much negativity. It's time, you know, they started reporting more positive news and what positive people in the communities are doing, because there's a lot of positive people out there doing a lot of good things. And they're not getting reported. All you're hearing about is the badness.
I think there's a reason behind that, but that's a whole nother interview. Let's don't even get me started on that. But there's a whole other, you know, agenda behind that and stuff. So no, you're absolutely right. Just be positive, you know.
That's right.
Most young people, even the ones that want to go on like they're bad, they would love to live a peaceful, happy life.
Just take a step back and have a think about, you know, what you're doing.
Because life's going like that. So you slow it down, you control it, and the best time is when you first rise up. Don't go for whatever it is. You don't go for the phone, because most people wake up, they go for the smartphone. Smartphone dumb people.
Check Facebook or whatever.
Put that down. Laptop, whatever. Don't go in the ashtray or wherever it is you go. Stop.
Have a bit of me time.
Drink some water. Wake up your organs, your cells. Breathe. Calm yourself. Okay, cool. I've got another chance today. It wasn't guaranteed that I woke up, but I've woken up, and there's a reason I've woken up. I've got to find out the reason, and then I've got to execute that reason, and it's a positive reason. And then you leave your house with that mentality every day. And when you get the obstacles, because it's inevitable, that's how life is about challenges, then you'll deal with them a little bit different. You can now where you couldn't before, and you get hit in the face, you're gonna do a matrix because you're on point. Your body's on point, so you know.
No, that's a great answer. And really, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, we could go on for ages about this, but literally all we are is a planet going round in a universe. That's literally all we are.
That's what they tell us, yeah.
That's what they tell us, right? Right. Okay, but I've got this one is probably one of the hardest questions I can ask, and I've only just started asking this. So I'm not too sure how you're gonna be able to handle this, but have you got like a favourite biscuit?
Wow. I was not expecting that one. And guess what? My friends call me the Cookie Monster.
Oh, you love a cookie?
Because I love biscuits.
You love cookies? Yeah, but have you what one cookie? What, the double choc chip?
No. So because there's two front runners. They are Crinkle Crunch.
Yep.
And shortbread. Right. And I think Crinkle Crunch wins the bet.
That wins it.
I think Crinkle Crunch. Right. Not the one with the cream in it, just the regular one.
Yeah.
I think that, yeah.
So we going for that.
Yeah.
The thing I always ask in the interviews is, because we're sort of coming to the end of the cab chat now, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to, sort of past and present?
Now the thing is, if I start naming people, I'm going to miss out. So all I'm going to say,
that's what I'm thinking.
What I'm going to say is, I'm not going to name people. I'm going to say anybody who is true to their self, and not just music. So whether that's acting, whether that's, you know, authors, you know, I enjoy reading, you know. I'll tell you one name I'm going to have to mention. I'm going to have to mention a name because for me, I'm inspired by this young man. I've seen his growth. I'm going to have to mention Dr. Akala. Dr. Akala. Really love the way he's representing black intellectual young men, which you don't see. You just don't really see. And we are out there. We're out there. Trust me. You know, I don't know how many people know. My mentor Black Twang, very intelligent man, you know, so he's even somebody that really I really took from. You should be able to be articulate and intelligent and know about current events as well. So Dr. Akala, I'm not going to mention any more names because I'll go on and on, but anybody who's true to themselves is representing themselves, you know.
K9, listen, it's been an absolute honour interviewing you, and I hope you've enjoyed this interview. It's been quite,
definitely, man.
Been quite relaxed.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, man. You know, the back of the cab,
back of the UltraCab,
British London style. So you know,
exactly. And anybody watching this interview, could you also check out my other interviews that I've done with other legends like DJ Supreme, Mastermind, Dolby D, the Ragged Twins, Jumping Jack Frost. I mean, there's so much history there, and you know, as you know, what I'm trying to do is cover, get people's history, and it's really important that we touch on our history.
We've got to tell our story.
That's right. From
our perspective, if not, someone will tell it another way.
Exactly. Straight from the, as they say, the horse's mouth.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, I'm going to get out of the cab now. Whack the old stabilisers on the side of it.
Yeah.
And I know you're going to do a little track for me, which is going to be amazing. So what I might do actually as well is drive around while you're doing it.
What I'll do a track from the old album.
Yeah.
I'll do a verse, a hook from the old.
Yeah.
Then I'll do one from the new album as well.
That would be brilliant.
So you guys can kind of see.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Yeah. The stabilisers ready, and I know you're going to rock this cab. So what tune are you going to do first?
So we'll start off with the first single, or the only real single from the first album, which is called The Re-Education of K9. The song is called Escape from Babylon. Alright, so I'm going to give you 2 verses, and hopefully you get a concept. But the video for this is on YouTube, so if you go to YouTube, K9 London, all one word, K and 9 the number, and you can see
K9 in London, yeah?
Yeah. Alright, so stand. clear. Django attack, you can't stand where I stand, you can't walk where I walk. You can't fit in my size 10 clocks, me no take nobody up from police, not a chance. What Maya, man a rebel from me born. Trust sucker or get respect or demand. Overstand the plan, there's no room for tag along, save your pound sterlings and escape from Babylon. No one fitting up in the pen with a bagger man. I so I stay ready to move like a caravan. Plus not one, no money you run, but see whether it's a storm in the world full of sorrow I'm trying to find. So listen, I ain't gonna find that freezing off my bullets. Excuse a colorful use of language if you bother this. Just an expression I'm trying to be honest. They say the Pharaoh came and enslaved Israelites. Let's hear from Babylon, live your life. Denied Farrakhan is freedom of speech rights. Let's hear from Babylon, live your life. The greed of money, your power will be their demise. Let's hear from Babylon, live your life. And 40 acres and a mule will not suffice. Let's hear from Babylon and live your life. Me mama and me papa came here for a better life. Seize opportunity with no tomfoolery. Jamaica community. Wind rush, step off the boat in a 3-piece suit, cuz confronted by the nationals fronting. They kick down doors like a striker that's punting. Some of them get a beating, some get cussing. Runaway slave blood, we're not afraid of nothing. From Ladbroke Grove to Brixton, Red Records, Dark Vendor with the big sound system. Rasta community teach to use wisdom. Elevate the mind in an oppressive system. Locked up in prison, get nyammed by piranhas. Black football players got pelted with bananas. Now we've come a long way since back in the day. Who don't order crookedness ain't straight. They say the Pharaoh came and enslaved Israelites. Let's hear from Babylon, live your life. Denied Farrakhan is freedom of speech rights. Let's hear from Babylon, live your life. The greed of money and power will be their demise. Let's hear from Babylon, live your life. And 40 acres and a mule will not suffice. Let's hear from Babylon and live your life.
What's this one called?
So this one is called Give It Up.
Give It Up.
Featuring Kimber.
Yeah.
From Union Black. Obviously he's not here right now, so I'm just going to give you my verse.
Yeah.
This song is off the new album called Black and Forth, due to be released December 2018. Due to be released December 2018.
So it's not even out yet?
No. So
right.
This will be, at some point it'll be like a single, like a street single or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is kind of that next snap vibe. Now, let me make sure I can get the lyrics, so apologies. Alright, so here we go.
And we're driving around in the cab as well.
And we're in London,
exactly.
in a black cab,
the
driving
London,
around.
The UltraCab.
This is how it goes, all city.
Exactly. Exactly.
Garbage disposal, sanitation services, mumble rappers. Please, it ain't worth it. The lady said, I'm not impressed, get your teeth knocked out. Dental treatment, I don't mean the NHS. Plant-based, stop beefing for my virtue. That's why I let you slide like Churchill. Whether it on it's man, think or raw urdu. They say damn nice going in, curfew 9 months of gestation. Pregnant with knowledge, so what? Here's the manifestation. Preparation, Armageddon, man, mirth machine better. Need to plan our salvation. Coded handshakes, initiation. Straight flush to pick lies. Call the Michelangelo's paintbrush, one the quick life. Make a sacrifice that they trust piss like. Bladder infections and toilets that won't flush, so conspicuous consumption. Living a life of dysfunction. Presenting lifestyles, you know that ain't really. Chasing is the fame, fake followers. Overnight celebrities, some anonymous. Yeah. Put your best bets up, car I'm better still. I leave a lad broke, Arts William Hill. If my bars offend them, plus the samples looped up like the Audi emblem. Sucker MCs better start the trembling car. I soon forward, don't start pretending. They ask 9, when you gonna blow? I say handkerchief, I'm too cold, take precaution. Anti-freeze but still fun, keep it bouncing like a trampoline. And roll up, Tony Hawk's can't ramp with me. Knowledge worth a fortune, more punchlines than law, sugar in the boardroom. Not Nostradamus, still I plan the future. Drop gems on the peasants, young man, some Musa, ego tripping, pretentious, that's unhealthy, narcissistic, Instagram full of selfies, controversial, Donald Trump Oval Office, piss more people off than Agent Orange, dig out your shell toes, rope chains and fake gazelles, cause I'm back, prodigal son, Dave Chappelle, what's mumble rap, give me real lyrics, heavy airplay all day with no gimmicks, level, K9, all city, back of the black cab round London. That. Make sure you know 2018 Black and Forth is coming.
Yes, yes.